Well, hi there. Welcome to the channel if you're new here. Today I'm going to try to help you guys light talking head videos like this one because it's one of the easiest things to overlook, lighting. If you're just picking up a camera trying to record yourself, well, it's incredibly easy to overlook lighting. If you are making videos for the love of cameras or the love of creating content, lighting can be hard. It can be a difficult thing to set up. It can be a difficult thing to figure out. It can be expensive. But today I'd like to try to just throw a few tips out there to help you effectively light your videos. Okay, so the first tip I've got for you, and this is a tip that works best if you have an overcast day, but my first tip is going to be using natural light through a window. If you've got a talking head video that you have to do and you don't have any lights whatsoever, you've got no budget at all, you can absolutely use natural light to your advantage. Find a window, place your subject, whether it's yourself or someone else, just to the side of that window, place the camera in front of them. It's gonna look something like this, and just hit record. You don't need to adjust anything. You don't need to set anything up. You don't need to tear anything down. I mean, obviously, except for the camera setup itself. But that aside, you don't need to set up any lighting equipment at all to achieve this look. And a lot of professionals will utilize natural lighting through windows like this to light subjects for talking head videos. So don't think that this is just a cheater's way to achieve beautiful lighting in talking head videos. Placing subjects to the side of windows is a pro tip. It's something that everyone from the earliest stages of beginning video content creation to someone that is creating a feature documentary film with a bunch of talking headshots, they can utilize, and they do utilize, these same techniques. So I would recommend to you the easiest and the cheapest technique for improving your lighting in your talking head videos is going to be just sit next to a window. This works especially well if you're having a cloudy day, or if you can just kind of plan out when you shoot. Wait until you've got a little bit of an overcast day and shoot then, because in that circumstance you're going to have some natural diffusion from those clouds, and that light is going to look nice and soft coming in through the window. You're not going to have any sort of harsh lighting whatsoever. It's going to be nice and diffused. When it hits your subject's face, it's really going to light them up, soften everything, bring out all of the detail, but not in a sharp, overly contrasty way. So overcast days definitely help for this technique, but they're not entirely necessary. You can get away depending on which direction your window's facing, how big it is, all sorts of different things like that. But play around with lighting a subject in a talking head video, whether it be yourself or someone else, just using a window. So the second tip I've got for you is use what you have at hand. And I've found myself a lot of times in positions where I don't have a great lighting setup for the circumstance, but you can definitely make do with some out-of-the-box ideas. Whether you're using just a lamp, you can flip the lampshade the other direction and actually utilize, on some lamps at least, and utilize the lamp shade to direct light towards your subject. That's a great way to make kind of an impromptu reflector hood almost for just a regular house lamp. Work lamps are absolutely awesome lights to use for video. They are incredibly bright and versatile, and they're generally, well, depending on whether or not you get halogen or LED. Halogen ones are kind of power suckers and they're really hot, but LED ones aren't. But nonetheless, work lamps, work lights in general, automotive, outdoor use, whatever you can find, Home Depot. Maybe you've got one laying around. That would be ideal in our current circumstance. But work lights are absolutely awesome for videography use. They are something that I used personally when I was getting started in videography a lot, because they're really cheap and they're easy to just throw in a trunk. You can bang them to crap. You don't need to throw them in a bag or anything, and they will survive the abuse. They will survive years of abuse. I can tell you from personal experience, and they do quite well as long as you don't care that anyone is going to be looking at you funny that you've got construction lights at whatever shoot you're doing, because it's going to look kind of weird. behind the camera. One thing that I've seen a lot of creators do previously is use a work light and either a bed sheet, which is going to be a little bit less transparent, or a shower curtain, just a clear or a mildly opaque, not a clear one obviously, but a mildly opaque shower curtain. That gives you some really nice diffusion for those work lights. If you don't have a shower curtain, or you don't have a way to drape a shower curtain in front of your work light, another option that you totally have is just, and again, depending on how hot the light gets, you can just tape a piece of paper over the light, and that'll give you some diffusion, although maybe sometimes even too much diffusion to where you lose a lot of light and then it's not quite as useful. One thing that I've found as well is just point your work light, especially if you're in a white room, or any light, whether it be a work light or something else, you can point your light at a white wall or a white surface opposite your subject so that the light bounces off of that bigger surface back at the subject. That's another great way to diffuse that light. Okay, so we've talked about free, right? Just using a window. We've talked about cheap work lights, stuff around the house, whatever you can make work. Now, still inexpensive, but a little bit closer to like professional would be getting something like the newer, I don't know how to pronounce this brand, but they've got a type of light. It's called the NL660, and they're about $150 or a little less per light. You can get a pack of 2 for under $300, I think, but these lights are great, and they're cheap, so you're gonna notice its cheapness in some aspects. They don't have a digital screen to tell you what your color temperature is or anything like that, but they are relatively color accurate. The hard part is going to be matching them with other lights without having a digital screen to tell you what the color temperature is. But you can make do, and for $150, they're really, really well built. So these are lights that I think any kind of newer filmmaker, anyone who's just starting to get into this or just trying to improve their production without blowing their whole stimulus package, I think these are a great option for you. So there you go. For relatively inexpensively, you can get into 2 or 3 production style lights. They're not going to be, you're not going to see them on a Hollywood set, but these are a great introduction to the types of lights that you will start to work with if you continue lighting professional sets or beyond, whatever that might be. Okay, so that's basically all I've got for you guys today in terms of improving your lighting for your talking head videos for either free or for very inexpensively. If you guys want to know a little bit more about how I do the lighting in my videos, I'm currently lighting myself with just a single 300D Mark II, an Apurture 300D Mark II, an absolutely fantastic light. I've got it tuned down right now to about 60%, which is allowing me to get around 400 ISO on this Canon camera, which is what the 10-bit C-Log recording really likes. I think the native resolution for C-Log is 400 ISO. So that's what I always try to light my sets to. That's another thing to kind of keep in mind is really try to understand your ISO, your aperture, just your camera settings in general. Understanding those settings is going to make a huge difference in the quality of your talking head videos. Probably a larger difference than spending thousands of dollars on lighting is just learning how ISO, aperture, shutter speed affect your videos, really ingraining that in you so that you can flip on a camera. Whether you've got lights around to use or not, you're gonna know exactly what you need to do to get the proper image, the best image possible, to come out of that camera with what you've got around you. So practice makes perfect. Make lots of videos, but if you made a video and you notice that something is a little bit off, observe that issue and try to process why that issue may be occurring. If you upload a video and you realize that it's really grainy, once you've rendered the video out that it's really grainy, and you were shooting in a darker room, realize that that is impacted directly by your ISO settings, and that there may have been something you could do to avoid that, and something that you can implement next time to get your videos to be even better. So hopefully these tips will help you do just that. If these tips did go ahead and give this video a like, subscribe for more content like this, and a ton of other types of content as well, but all pertaining to photography, videography, just creating with a camera, whether that be with it in front of you, with you behind it, whatever the case may be. I hope that I can provide value to you so that you can get out there and make more content and do what you love doing, just like I love making these videos for you guys. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it a whole lot, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.